This is a Flying Cow production.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Movie Battles, where we take the very best in Disney, Pixar trivia, and we put them head to head here on the Flying Cow. I am your host, Clay Johnson, the Flying Cow himself, and here with me today, calling this first round tournament match, Sinister James Shimo. How are we doing today, James?
I am doing fantastic. Salutations to you. I mean, we may be discussing the House of Mouse, but I am honored to be in the house of the Flying Cow, or would it be more called a hangar, shall we say? Either way, yeah. I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, you know, I got to get off my feet sometimes.
Hey.
All right. Well, yeah, it's great to have you here. Like I said, we're calling a first round match in the tournament. This match we are going to call today is between the gentleman, Patrick Hill, and his opponent, MadDog, Brian Nussbaum. These guys, Patrick has been playing with us for a little bit. He's got 2 matches under his belt. Unfortunately, has not gotten the win yet. We're going to see if he has the opportunity to change those fortunes today against the MadDog. But the MadDog is currently undefeated, 1-0.
Hey, I mean, you got to talk about stakes. I mean, especially first round in a tournament that is going forward. I mean, you know, both of these guys want to show up and show out. Patrick, especially, like you mentioned, winless as of this point. But all streaks, even losing ones, are made to be broken. The same goes for Nussbaum as well. There are so many different avenues. We saw it in a match that I called earlier, like all kinds of roller coaster twists and turns that we could see. Lord knows there have already been a handful of upsets in this tournament already. Could we be ready to see another one here tonight? I don't know, but it's going to be fun to find out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what do you say? We remind the people of a couple of things before we bring in our competitors. First of all, the format for this show is based on the movie Trivia Schmodown. So if you enjoyed this, check them out at theschmodownlive.com and let them know that the cow sent you. Also, do not forget that the Flying Cow is not just on YouTube. We're not just movie battles. Check out our podcast feed on Google Play, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I do podcasts over there about television and movies. We've got a lot of stuff in the feed, so check that stuff out. And as always, if you want to contact us, you can do so at the Flying Cow Pod on Twitter and Instagram. You can also email us at Gmail or at theflyingcowpod@gmail.com. And as always, if you can't remember any of that, it's just on the banner right above us. Not ours. All right. Well, what do you say we go ahead and bring in today's competitors?
I say the arena is packed. The instruments are going. The emperor has taken his seat. Let's bring in the gladiators, baby.
All right. Introducing first. Representing good taste with a record of 0 wins, 2 defeats. His motto is win, lose, always look good. He is the gentleman, Patrick Hill. How we doing, Patrick?
Hello. Good. How are you, Clay and James? It's so happy to be back.
Absolutely. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, these are always fun.
How are you feeling about your match today?
You know, I will say, to be honest, this is the first match that I did just a little bit of prep for. The last 2, I went in raw with just whatever was in my head. But after seeing my wheel, I was like, let's just do a couple of late night Googling and see if what I can retain that might be helpful this time around. So we'll see if it pays off.
I will say, for just going off the top of your head, you've done relatively well. I mean, yes, you've lost both of your first matches, but in both, you composed yourself very well. You did not get completely knocked out of any one of them. You showed yourself to be a formidable competitor. So, I mean, we'll have to see if this, doing a little bit of studying is just the magic juice you need to get that win.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm very excited. It's a new competitor for me, which is always fun to meet new people. So
absolutely,
yeah.
All right. Well, let us go ahead and bring in that competitor and his opponent, representing the MadDogs with a record of 1 win and 0 defeats. He is MadDog Brian Nussbaum.
Well, great to be back here on Movie Battles.
How we doing there, Brian?
It's doing good. Last time I was here, I already missed 3 questions. This time, trying to improve myself, and I see Patrick's matches. When I saw matches, I missed like 3 or 4 questions in his match, and see how well he does this time.
All right, yeah, we'll have to see how you guys pair off 1-on-1. So why don't we go ahead and bring Patrick back in here? All right. And let us go ahead and bring up the rules for round number 1. In round number 1, 8 questions from random categories will be given to all competitors. Competitors will have 15 seconds to write their response. Answers must be said aloud when revealing your answer. All questions in this round are worth 1 point. If either competitor gets all 8 questions correct, they will have a perfect round and receive a 1-point bonus question. Competitors will have 3 repeats that they can use at any point throughout the match. So if you want to hear a question again, or you just need a little bit more time, use your repeats. Competitors also have a challenge that they can use at any point that they disagree with the ruling of a question. If the challenge is upheld, then the competitor will keep their challenge. There is no stealing in this round. Are there any questions going into round number 1?
No, I am ready.
All right. If you guys are ready then, and James, are you ready, sir?
Hey, when it comes to Patrick, a little bit of studying, much like hair gel, can go a long way. But is that going to be enough when you let the MadDog off his leash? Let's find out.
All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel ready for a movie battle. Action begin. Starting with question number 1 in the category of early classics. These are the films of the 30s and the early 40s. And your question. In the Sorcerer's Apprentice segment of Fantasia, what object does Mickey enchant to fetch water?
The original Fantasia, very well regarded. Fantasia 2000, not so much.
Yeah, it's a little spotty. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And Patrick, we are starting with you, sir.
Broom.
Broom is correct. And Brian?
Broomsticks.
Broomstick, broom, same thing. Yes. All right. So they are currently tied going into question number 2.
Both gentlemen acquitting themselves well here in the opening goings here. Let us take a look at question number 2, which is going to come in the category of the Disney Renaissance, which is the 1990s, mostly in any case. And your question, who provided the voice of Jane Porter in Disney's Tarzan? how does a guy who is, basically raised in the jungle, how does he get shredded like that? I'm just so curious.
Well, I'm pretty sure he was, doing a lot of exercising there.
I hope.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I didn't see an ab lounge anywhere.
And 1. All right.
All right, let us go to Brian first.
Minnie Driver.
Minnie Driver is correct. And Patrick?
No, I put Jane Seymour.
Ooh. All right.
Tripped up by Jane there.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right when I saw
could have been worse. Could have wrote Jane Fonda.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, not
right,
Jane Fonda.
Brian with a quick 1-point lead there in the early goings, but still a lot of round 1 to play.
Absolutely. Going into question number 3 in the category of dark times. These are the films of the 2000s. And your question. In The Emperor's New Groove, what is the name of the peasant who travels with Kuzco?
Oddly enough, even though it falls in the dark times, I actually really like this movie.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely one of, there are some decent films in that time. Like I said, they're trying a lot of experimental things, but this is definitely one that I enjoy as well.
The truffles just got to wade through the crap.
4, 3, 2, and 1. And let us start with Patrick.
But Kronk?
Kronk is incorrect. Brian, do you have what we're looking for?
I would never miss a question for this film. Pacha.
Pacha is correct.
It's voiced by the man himself, John Goodman.
Absolutely. Yep. Patrick, in the right movie, unfortunately just got the wrong character.
So and we've seen that happen time and time again in games like this.
Yeah. Brian opens up a 2-point lead, 3-1.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if Patrick can close the gap here with question number 4, which comes in the category of Pixar. And here we go. In what European country does Pixar's Luca take place?
Have you seen Luca yet, James?
I've started it. I haven't finished it yet. Like I said, just life sometimes gets in the way. But I will say, though I have not been to this particular locale, I am a fan of their cuisine.
Yeah.
All right, we are looking for exactly answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. All right, and let us go to Brian first.
Italy.
Italia is correct. And Patrick?
Also Italy.
Very, very good, gentlemen. Molto bene. All right.
It's such a cute movie. I really enjoyed it.
It is a very fun movie from what I have seen of it. All right. So both men getting that one correct, keeping pace. 2-point lead still for Brian moving into the next question.
All right. And that question number 5 in the category of the decline and wilderness. These are the films of the 60s through the 80s. And your question. In 101 Dalmatians, how many puppies did Perdita give birth to?
I think a question not nearly enough people ask about this movie is how do they feed all of those animals? Like, seriously.
Yeah. I think they actually did like a cartoon in like the 90s where they showed them like living on a farm or something like that.
I mean, between a fashion designer and a music producer, I don't think they make nearly enough.
I also don't think they should be running a farm in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. And Patrick, we're going to you first.
15 puppies?
15 is correct. And Brian.
I guess higher, 91.
Oh, wow. Wow. You put Perdita to work.
Poor Perdita.
Hope she had an epidural on standby. Good grief.
Right? Yes. 15 is the answer. So Brian, no longer perfect, but he still has a 1-point lead against Patrick, 4-3.
And hey, just gaining that little bit of ground could do wonders for confidence. Let's see if it can be maintained with question number 6. The category is package films.
Of course it is.
These categories, this one sticks mostly to the 40s. Here we go. Your question, gentlemen. Peter and the Wolf can be found as a segment in which package film?
I know I actually heard Peter and the Wolf as an audio album, a record. When I was a kid, they played it in my daycare.
All right. I think my first exposure was some random Merry Melodies cartoon or something.
Agree. That was mine too.
Yeah.
All right. Looking for answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. All right. Let us go to Brian first.
Make My Music.
Make Mine Music is correct. And Patrick.
Make Mine Music.
All right.
Very
All
nice.
right. Hold and steady are both of these gentlemen.
Yeah, neither really even blinked on that package films question. Quite impressive.
I guarantee you, if I'd have gotten that question, I would not have hit that.
All right, going into question number 7 in the category of classics. These are the films of the 1950s. And your question: what classics era film was actually only the second princess film?
It pays to know your princesses, and not just if you're from England.
Yeah, I mean, Disney has always been thought of as like the princess factory, but it really wasn't until the Renaissance that they, did
Honed in
so
on
many
that
of
formula.
those. Yeah.
And even then, sometimes, like you look at Aladdin, the princess was actually the side focus as compared to the actual hero, and ended up getting more attention in some respects.
Yeah, and sometimes in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And Patrick, we are going to you first.
Oh, it was a 50-50, but I'm guessing Cinderella.
Cinderella is correct. Your 50-50 paid off. Brian, what about you, sir?
Cinderella.
Cinderella. All right.
Right.
So keeping pace, 5
Absolutely.
to 6, still up by 1. Brian still only missed that one question. Going
Yep.
into the final question.
Absolutely. Let's see if you can maintain that 1-point lead heading into round 2 after your 8th and final question in round 1, which is the CG revolution, comprising mostly the 2010s. And your question: in Zootopia, when Nick Wilde first encounters Judy Hopps, what item is he selling as a part of his con? Oddly enough, Zootopia, I think, one of the few attempts at being semi-political by Disney that actually makes it very digestible for younger audiences.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely very pointed. That's for sure. It was kind of hard to miss the point of that film.
Well, you got to figure for younger audiences, they just see, hey, cute animals, fun
Yeah,
situations.
absolutely.
They don't really focus on the deeper message. But again, that's the beauty of Disney.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, let us go to Brian first.
Popsicles.
Popsicles is correct. And Patrick has a look at
I've
his
never
man's
seen
face.
this movie, unfortunately. I just wrote down a watch.
Oh, the blind
Sure.
spot comes into play there for Patrick. We do now finish up with a 2-point lead for Brian heading into round 2.
Yep. Currently, the score is 7 to 5 in Brian's favor, but anything can happen in round number 2, also known as the wheel round. So let's take a look at those rules. In round number 2, each competitor will get up to 2 spins on the wheel. If you do not like your first spin, you can spin again. However, if you land on opponent's choice at any point, you are stuck with that. Competitors will get 4 questions from their category. Questions are worth 2 points in this round. And multiple choice is available. However, if you go to multiple choice, the value will drop to 1 point. Competitors will have 15 seconds to answer each question. Opponents may steal if a competitor gives an incorrect response. Repeats and challenges are still in effect in this round. Are there any questions going into round number 2?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, Brian, you are leading by 2 points, so you have a decision to make. Would you like to spin first, or would you like to defer to Patrick?
As they say, first is worst, second is best. So, Patrick, you're going.
All right.
Okay.
So Patrick has been put on the chopping block. So we're going to bring up his wheel. Can you see the wheel, Patrick?
I can.
All right. So this spin is yours. Round and round.
Scale of morality.
goes.
Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn.
And we have landed on classics. These are the films of the 1950s. Do you want to keep it, Patrick, or would you like to spin again?
Let's keep it.
All right. So Patrick has opted to keep classics. Like I said, the films of the 1950s. So we are going to get 4 questions in the category of the 1950s. All right. And Patrick, I am going to be asking these questions to you.
Perfect.
So are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
All right. And here we go with the category of classics. And your first question. In Peter Pan, what object does Michael Darling carry around throughout the film? Now remember, you do not have to write down your answers in round 2, but you can if you would like to use it to figure it out.
You're right. That would be a stuffed teddy.
Teddy bear is correct for 2 points. All right. Moving on to question number 2. In Cinderella, who is tasked with trying the slipper on every maiden in the kingdom?
That would be the prince's steward.
Steward is incorrect. So, Brian, you get the opportunity to steal. Let me repeat the question. In Cinderella, who is tasked with trying the slipper on every maiden in the kingdom?
I believe it's the Archduke.
Archduke is also incorrect. The correct answer was the Grand Duke.
Oh, Grand Duke. Okay.
Grand Duke,
Slight
so
difference in
close.
wording there.
Yeah, I think that either one of them would have benefited from multiple choice. Unfortunately, it's not where we went. So no points there, but we do still have 2 more questions in this category. So moving on to the penultimate question in this round. In Lady and the Tramp, what animal does Tramp break into the house to protect the baby from?
A rat.
Rat is correct for 2 points. And with that, Patrick takes the lead, currently 9-7, going into his final question in round number 2. And your question: what Winnie the Pooh actor provides the voice of the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland?
Multiple choice.
All right. And those options are: is it A, Paul Winchell, B, Sterling Holloway, C, Junius Matthews, or D, John Fiedler?
B,
B. Sterling Holloway is correct for 1 point. All right. So coming out of Patrick's round number 2, we currently have a score of 10-7. So Patrick has a 3-point lead. We'll have to see what Brian can do with that with his categories. We're going to bring the wheel back up for Brian. Brian, can you see the wheel, sir?
Yes, I can.
All right, then Brian, this spin is for you.
Round and around and around she goes. Where she stops, only RN Jesus knows.
And we have landed on princesses. So
I like princesses. I could take 10 face and do it again.
We're gonna spin again?
Yes.
All right,
All
we're
right.
gonna spin again.
All right, now this one he absolutely has to stick with, no ifs, ands, or buts. And we are going on, John and Alan. This should be interesting.
And this category is, of course, the roles of John Ratzenberger and Alan Tudyk.
This should be very, very interesting. We
Absolutely.
will see how this turns out. All right, Brian, I will be asking you your round 2 questions. Are you prepared, sir?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. Your first question in the category of John and Alan for 2 points. In Toy Story 2, early in the film, what role is Ham given while Andy plays?
Evil Dr. Porkchop. Final answer.
Dr. Porkchop is correct. Oddly enough, though, sounds like a barbecue restaurant we'd have somewhere in Tennessee or Kentucky, but overall, a correct answer nonetheless. Question
Brings
2.
Brian within 1 point.
Exactly. So to take the lead, your question, number 2. Alan Tudyk provides the voice of which character in Raya and the Last Dragon?
Multiple choice.
All right. Your multiple choice options are A. Tuk Tuk, B. Tong, C. Dian Ongi, or D. Pengu?
D.
D as in dog is incorrect. So we will go to Patrick for the steal. And once again, I will read you the question and your 4 multiple choice options. Alan Tudyk provides the voice of which character in Raya and the Last Dragon? Is it A. Tuk Tuk, B. Tong, C. Dian Ongi, or D. Pengu?
A. Tuk Tuk.
A. Tuk Tuk the armadillo is correct for a 1-point steal, now opening up a 2-point gap. So in order to tie the game now, your third question in the category of John and Alan. Brian, what is the name of John Ratzenberger's character in the Cars franchise?
Mac.
Mac is correct for 2 points to tie the game. And now to take a 2-point lead heading into round 3, your final question in round 2, Brian. In Big Hero 6, what is the name of Alistair Cray's company?
Craytech.
Craytech is correct for 2 points. Very, very impressive. Once again, maintaining that lead that he had, but at the same time, Patrick got a much needed steal there. So we are still in anybody's ballpark, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And Brian, because of the steal that Patrick was able to get, only has a 2-point lead, 13-11, going into this final round. And who knows what's going to happen in round number 3. In round number 3, competitors will pick 3 numbers ranging from 1 to 20 that correspond to 3 random categories. Each competitor will get 3 questions. Questions in this round are worth 2, 3, and 5 points respectively. Competitors will have 15 seconds to answer each question. There will be no stealing or multiple choice in this round. Repeats and challenges are still in effect. Are there any questions going into round number 3?
Nope.
All right, then let us go ahead. And Brian, you are currently in the lead by 2. So you will have the opportunity to give us your 3 numbers first. What sounds good?
10, 18, and 4.
10, 18, and 4. All right. And Patrick, what about you, sir?
1, 8, and 16.
1, 8, and 16. Patrick finally getting that 8 that he's been chasing after since his first game. Brian was gracious enough to let you have that one.
I mean, the same number that I got last time and I won, so let's see if we do it again.
Hey, that's a good way to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, Patrick, you are currently down by 2. So you will have the opportunity to answer your questions first. So we are looking to try to avoid the TKO and send it back to Brian. If you can get this first question, your 2-point question, you chose number 1, and that relates to the category of mixed bag. Okay. And your question: what film has the tagline, "Meet the little voices inside your head"?
Inside Out.
Inside Out is correct for 2 points. And with that, Patrick avoids the TKO, ties it up with Brian.
Absolutely. And we move to Brian now to break the tie. Patrick, it wasn't on the verge of a TKO potentially, but he says, "Not today, Satan." So let us see what Brian can do now to break the tie. You selected number 10, Brian, and that is going to correspond to the category of movie quotes.
Oof, okay.
Movie quotes. So for 2 points to retake the lead, in what film will you find the quote, "Hey, what comes after lightning? Thunder."
Cars?
That is correct for 2 points. All right.
So with that, Brian sends it right back to Patrick to answer his 3-point question. All right. Patrick, your question, you chose the number 8, and that corresponds to the category of scores and soundtracks. All right. And your question, to regain the lead and send it back to Brian: who composed the score for Up?
Can you repeat the question?
I can indeed. That was, I
First
believe, your
repeat.
first repeat.
Yep.
Okay. And that question: who composed the score for Up?
Randy Newman.
Michael Giacchino.
That
Giacchino
Michael
is
Giacchino
correct.
is correct.
That is correct.
All right. So that means that we are moving on to Patrick's 5-point question. Okay. If Patrick gets this correct, then once again, he will send it back to Brian to answer his 3 and his 5. However, if he misses, Brian will win this game. And your 5-point question, you chose number 16. And that relates to the category of the wilderness. These are the films of the 1980s. and your question. Who voiced the character of Francis the Bulldog in Oliver and Company?
Can you repeat the question?
I can. That is your second repeat. Who voiced the character of Francis the Bulldog in Oliver and Company?
Can you repeat the question again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That
one.
is your last one. Who voiced the character Francis the Bulldog in Oliver and Company?
I can hear it. Billy Joel. I know that's not right.
And your winner, MadDog, Brian Nussbaum. The correct answer was Roscoe Lee Brown. Difficult pull.
That's
there.
hard. I don't think I would have gotten to it. I can
It's
hear the
tough.
voice.
That is
But,
a very tough question.
Yeah, great job to both of you guys. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and turn off your cameras, and we will bring you back for your post interviews. Wow. Look at that.
I mean, what else can you say? I mean, Patrick brought the fight. Obviously, he missed an opportunity to go to multiple choice in round 2. Didn't end up hurting him too bad because Brian wasn't able to capitalize on it. Assessed the situation correctly later on when he needed to go to multiple choice and made that correction and got himself to the 3rd round. But then again, those 3 and 5 pointers can be the nail in the coffin for any competitor. And how fitting is it that a question about a bulldog, it gives the MadDog the win?
It's true. It's true. I mean, you know, it's just it's tough. You know, those 5-point questions, only a few competitors have been able to get them. They're very tough on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they're worth 5 points. They're meant to be those deep cuts that competitors, you know, you really have to obsess. You really have to memorize your IMDb in order to make those. So,
yeah,
I mean, hats off to Patrick for hanging in there. But, I mean, once again, we
Absolutely.
see undefeated Brian Nussbaum moving forward, and he's going to be a force moving on in this tournament.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and bring Patrick back in here. The gentleman, Patrick Hill. How we feeling, Patrick?
Fine. Those were hard. I mean, I don't think I would have ever, you know, it wouldn't have even, you know, come to me. So I think the studying helped a bit. I got Cinderella, which I think came before Sleeping Beauty, and I knew that because I studied release dates because I saw it on my wheel. So
Hey,
I was like, okay, so at least I got through that. But yeah, you're right. I probably should have called multiple choice when I know what I did. I thought Into the Woods, because in the musical Into the Woods, the steward helps the prince fit all of the glass slippers on the sisters and everything.
Yeah.
So
I was in that musical once.
yeah, it's an amazing musical. But I haven't seen the actual movie Cinderella in so long. I would have never gotten the Grand Duke.
Yeah.
So
It's tough. It is a tough pull.
I love learning new stuff, though. I learned something new in
go.
each of these battles, and even when I watch other people, so that makes it a lot of fun.
Well, there you go. Well, I have to ask you. You are unfortunately 0-3 now.
Yeah.
So you've been watching a few of these matches. Is there anybody that you have your eye on? Anybody that you think, you know what, I'd like to take them on, see if I can get a number in that win column?
I don't know if I want to play them because I think I can beat them. I just want to play I want to play Jack. I think it'd be fun. And I also want to hang out with Amanda Van Heil because I haven't seen her in a long time. And, you know, so.
Yeah.
And they're both really good. So I don't know if I can beat them, but I think it'd be a fun match.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, unfortunately, you're out of the tournament. This is probably the end of your season, unless, you know, some something else comes up. But I gotta say, looking forward to seeing what you do next season. Hopefully we can you can get a win or number in that win column.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for putting all this together and inviting me in. So I look forward to whatever you need me for in the future.
No problem. All right. Thanks again, Patrick.
Thanks.
We'll see you later. Well, what do you say we go ahead and bring Brian, our today's winner, MadDog Brian Nussbaum, on in here?
Let's do it.
Brian, how are we feeling, man? You're 2-0.
It's doing good. That one back question in the first round tricked me because I thought it was a 91 at first. And like another match where Raya sucks me.
Yeah, Raya, I mean, you know, it came out just recently, so it can still be a harder pull for some of our competitors. But that's one of the reasons it's in there, you know.
Yep, and also that question, the steal, I thought with the Archduke at first, I thought it was because that's what I thought he was called in the film, but the Grand Duke this had a brave fun there.
Yeah, just off Archduke, Grand Duke, you know, it's just unfortunately, you know, different positions. So but yeah, kind of a tough semantics thing there.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, I am wondering because, you know, we've all caught on. You know your voice actors. So
I do.
Did you know Patrick's 5?
I believe I did because I remember he was from Dukes of Hazzard. I remember the voice for Dukes of Hazzard. So,
well, I mean, Roscoe Lee Brown. I'm not sure if you're thinking of a different person. Roscoe Lee Brown is. I'm trying to remember.
You might be thinking of the character of Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's a little different. Roscoe Lee Brown is a
from our Clay's iPhone.
Geez, Siri wanted to chime in there, but Roscoe Lee Brown is a like a Shakespearean and classically trained actor,
Okay.
African American gentleman. Trying to remember things he's been in, but great actor. You know, just about anything I've ever seen him in, I've really enjoyed. So yeah, it's got that very you know, trained, you know, voice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very deep, very booming, but again, that very proper accent. Because I remember the character well. He considered himself a thespian.
Yes.
Getting
Yeah,
run
that's
over.
what his character was supposed to be to feel like a thespian dog or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean,
Well,
you look at some of his credits, stuff like Logan's Run, Treasure Planet. There's a whole ton of different things that he's been in, and he's a great actor. Just, you know, the name eludes some people in certain cases.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask, Brian. You are now 2-0. You're moving on in this tournament, and you are going to face the winner of either Amanda or Andy, whoever wins their match. I mean, I don't know if you've seen their matches, but do you have a preference?
I see the Amanda's matches. Like, she's great. But my first match was supposed to be against Andy. He dropped out, and I want to take on Andy.
Oh, okay. You want to take on Andy? Try to get your that match that didn't happen. All right, make that happen. I totally understand that. All right, well, we'll have to see which one of them comes out to see how you progress in this tournament. But I mean, either way, we're looking forward to seeing it. Great match today, and we'll see you next time, sir.
And you look at the tale of two different competitors here. You got one who's riding high, still on his undefeated streak.
Yep.
Just absolutely on a tear, ready to take this tournament by storm. You look at another one, again, still looking for that first elusive win, but I can speak from experience when you finally do get that first win, that very first one in a new league or any kind of competition, it is all the sweeter because you know you really, really earned it.
Absolutely. But like I said, whatever happens in the rest of this tournament, I hope that everyone watching will join us because we've got More tournament matches coming up. So stay here, stay watching, and as always, moo.
Moo.